What's good, people? It's Ash Bash on hosting duties this week. Mo is on a lovely break with his missus, and I'll have to try and fill his role best I can. So wish me luck. But anywho, welcome to the Half Size Up podcast. We are now on episode 24. Time is mad flying, and as you know, we are a weekly podcast for sneaker news, UK releases, global sneaker trends, and all things in between. Today's podcast is brought to you in conjunction with the Pink Miracle shoe cleaner, the original shoe cleaner since 1985. And with me each week, we have my co-host, Dean Steele.
What's going on?
And for the third mic this week, we have the homie, Dan Batch. What's good?
What's happening? All good?
Yeah, buddy.
Return of Dan.
Yeah, I know. It's his third time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
The repeat. I like that. So yeah, this last week has been full of some high heat releases that we'll have to dig into further. There was a triple collab between Jordan Brand, Travis, and Fragment, another ambush collab in the Flash Lime colorway, and another two Sakai Nike Dunk Blazer lows that I don't know why they keep making them, but it is what it is. All in all, some really interesting releases this past week and a lot to discuss in today's episode. But for now, let's get stuck into our first segment, in which we like to call Favorite Shoe You Wore Last Week. Okay, I've got no sound effects this week, so it's just going to be me. Okay. In this segment, we talk about our most favorite shoes that we wore last week, and today we have Dean to get the ball rolling. So, Dean, what was yours, mate?
Yeah, so this week I'm going to go again with, I guess it's not as obvious. There's a little bit more niche compared to like saying stuff like Unions or Chicago One or whatever.
The high heat, yeah.
Yeah, it's not essentially that level of heat this time. But I did rock the military blue 4s.
Oh, lovely,
Yeah, they're always they're my favorite Jordan 4. So yeah, they're always going to come out top. And I apologize, guys, my speech is a little bit impeded today because I've just come back from the dentist, and
the dental butchery of this podcast still keeps carrying on.
My lips are like feeling like swollen as fuck, so I'm doing the best I can. But yeah, military blue 4. That's a hard word.
What year was that? Was that 2012? Was that 2012 that they came out?
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah. So that was a good year for 4s.
Yeah, it was a good year. It was just a good year
in general. Yeah. What about you, Dan? Would you rock?
You know what? It's been a bit of a weird one, something a bit different. I've actually, since I picked them up at end of last week, but I've been wearing the Patta Vans quite a bit. They released, I think last week. But I popped by the Patta store. They had them sitting on the shelf, the pink pair, and it's like I just haven't stopped wearing them. They're I say new, but I haven't had them, but they're comfy. I can't think what they called it. There was a certain tech they changed in them, so they got like this comfy sole.
Oh, they're actually the updated ones, yeah.
Yeah, they're actually really nice to wear now, where sometimes Vans can be a bit, not painful, but you've worn them after a while, right? They're quite flat and everything, but with a new comfy sole in, really, really nice.
That's dope. That's a good pickup. For me, actually, technically, I didn't really wear anything because I got pinged by the NHS app. So I've been stuck indoors for the whole last 8 days, basically. So I don't think I literally didn't go out anywhere just to put the rubbish out, and I chucked on like God knows whatever's by the door. It's probably some like throw-on shoes, like some Air Max 1s, OG Reds or something like that. It's probably the only thing that I've worn this week. Been a very dead one. Don't have COVID, luckily, but got the quarantine effects from it. But it is what it is. On to the next segment, lads. We have sneaker news of the week. And what else could we talk about except for arguably the biggest release of the year, the highest day one resale price for any shoe this year? It's in the 23K mark. The shoe that I'd say the majority of people didn't think was dope when they first saw a picture of it, but as it got closer to the release, people got a little bit more gassed and it was a bit more exclusive and people wanted it. And it is the Jordan 1 times Travis times Fragment collaboration. Triple collab things, taking over. They're only released in like 3 stores in the UK. 2 of them on the online apps for End and SNS, and an IG picture raffle from Offspring, which got like thousands of entries. I think we all bit the bullet in the end and entered. All obviously took L's, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about the shoe? What do you think about the release? The fact that there was no sneakers, and do you think the shoe is actually that dope? Dean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think firstly, I like the shoe as a whole, in the sense that it's a cool like collab and everything. aesthetically, it's not to my taste personally. I don't like the way it looks so much. There's a lot of white going on
It's the mainly
around.
that it's white too much, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too white. It's a lot there like I don't like. I wouldn't lie to you. If I won this shoe, I would not wear it because of the price it's at. I would not wear it. It's not like, see, like with the Travis one, the brown one, that was $1,000 and I was still happy to rock that
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's more
yeah.
to my taste. This shoe,
And it's something new as well. Like you don't get that
yeah,
colorway. Yeah.
exactly. It was like a rarity a little bit. I'm shocked personally at the price of this.
Mate.
What is
Yeah.
clear? It's more to do with the numbers. It's very clear.
Yeah, it has to be mad
There
niche.
was
Has to
no
be. Yeah.
stock on this pair. Like looking at the amount of stores that got them, looking at like resellers I know that barely have any stock of them, that usually have like full size
Yeah.
runs. And so it's clear that there's barely any pairs, which is standard when it comes to like these high end fragment collabs. Yeah, I think, you know, it blew all our resale predictions out of the water.
100%.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think I like the box. I think the box is
Yeah,
Mm.
cool.
box is fire.
I don't. Yeah, it's on them pairs where like I would have liked to win it because it's worth so much. If I'm being honest with you,
No, you can't deny that. It's
yeah,
£3,000.
I would have liked to win it, but I'm not losing any sleep over this Jordan. Personally, like, let me put it like this: if it was like, you know, something that aesthetically looked more like my sort of shoe, I'd be a lot more like, oh my god, this shoe's too expensive. There's no way I can get this. Right now, I'm just like, it's okay. Like, you know,
Haven't considered for a second to pay it.
not even in
No.
the
A
slightest.
millisecond.
I
No.
would never, ever. I wouldn't pay for this shoe at $1,000 or eight
I was
hundred
gonna say, how
pounds.
much would you pay for it? Yeah.
Six
What would be
hundred,
the? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
500,
Yeah.
600, and
See, I
even
wouldn't even
then,
pay 600.
I wouldn't even pay it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm lying because like,
Only because if it's going to be still worth $3,000, but if the
yeah,
price is
no,
600, no, I wouldn't pay
I'm
that.
with
No.
you, and I gotta be honest, guys. Even at like, if it had no resale, right? This pair, particularly, just this colorway, I don't think I'd pay 400. Like, I don't think I would feel inclined to do it.
Yeah.
Um, I would rather get like a different collab. So yeah, this has
Is it
been,
more expensive than a standard frag now, or frag's still high?
no, frag's still higher, but
It's gone crazy because that was a
yeah,
while ago, isn't it?
yeah, that was
Yeah.
like, that's like a 5K shoe.
Okay.
The OG frag. This pair, I can't tell if this is going to go down a little bit before going back up. I think it might. I think it might,
Yeah.
just because of
I
the
don't know.
demand. Like,
You think it's going to go down, Batch?
Nah. I think this
Obviously,
is where it's at. I think that's it.
really.
If anything, it's gonna go up. I think.
Yeah, I
oh
think in
yeah,
a
Like,
year's time it's going to be 5K.
it will go up, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like, we've seen it with some other releases where they dip for like a
yeah.
couple weeks after the high. It would not surprise me. Like, I would say to anyone that's looking to just monitor now and then see over the next 2 weeks and then make your move. Like, if it starts going up, you got to go. But there might be a bit of a crash. Like, we saw like people bought the AMM3 super
Oh
Mm.
boy, yeah, yeah.
super early. I saw a lot of people do that. Like 3 or 4 people in the community do that, and
900 range, yeah,
yeah, and then it went down to what, $4 at
yeah,
1.5
yeah.
bills. Like, that's a massive loss. So you got to be careful. But yeah, this shocked me, man. But I think it speaks volumes for where we're at with the sneaker game at the moment. The triple collab, like Travis, and all the hype behind this fair. Yeah, you know, it's definitely going to be, I think, the biggest release of the year. I think in terms of hype.
Yeah,
Mm.
Batch, was you looking to rock? Was you like a big fan of it, or just
You
entered
know,
because it's a hype shoe,
I entered
basically?
because you know what, I got caught by the hype. I definitely got caught by FOMO. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe I should enter. Like, and the thing is, I think I even put it in my post for that. I had no time that weekend. I was filming all
Yeah.
weekend, and I was literally starting at 7 a.m. on Monday, so I should have been fucking fast asleep.
Yeah,
Mm,
But I was like,
I hear
no,
you,
let me put an
man.
entry in. But I was
Yeah.
like, and the thing is, so I was actually in Offspring on Saturday. A friend of mine won, so he went and picked them up. I had a look at them. They're really nice in hand. The quality is lovely. They are a really nice shoe. Like, better than I not expected, but better than what I thought of them anyway.
okay. Yeah.
Um, but there's, like you said, there's too much white. If it was a black toe box,
Mm,
then yeah. So and that for me, that's why the lows is where it's at,
yeah.
because
The
the toe
lows are
box,
the
like,
perfect colorway. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. I'm looking at. I've actually pulled up StockX real quick. my size right now in a 10.5 is the lowest ask is
Oh my
£3,215.
god.
The last sale was 2,342. So people are actually paying that money, which is ridiculous.
Is anyone
Yeah,
normal
yeah,
paying that? Or is this celebrities?
Nah,
Like,
these are celebrities and
has to be in it.
influencers, celebrities.
UK
No,
sneaker seller, I can
yeah,
source you a pair.
no one,
mm,
literally, like UK sneaker seller to high end client. I can get you a pair. StockX
and then
done,
just bang
right?
StockX. Yeah,
That's it. Because there's not enough of these, and like these are the only sales that go through on that kind of range mark. This is what I mean, where the demand comes in. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
yeah,
a lot, a lot of people are gonna hold these pairs, but a lot of the people that want them will buy them now. A
Yeah.
lot of people that
yeah.
want this shoe will buy it now, and like a lot of people like holding it. You're gonna once you start waiting, you're waiting for like specific people. Someone
Mm.
who couldn't
Mm.
afford it perhaps now, and it's in their goal to go get it, or someone retroactively buying in it. So I don't know, man. I just think like the sneaker game is so like beyond normality.
It's
With
not healthy, man.
it's not,
The,
and
the
it's
thing
not.
is, like
Yeah,
that, the shoes got people acting wild, man. Like this
yeah,
weekend, I mean, I was knocked out cold yesterday. I said this to Ash. Sunday was a
Yeah.
write off for me because I had my second COVID jab. Boy, I was done. But from what I have seen, people the way they're talking, like even if they did get it and didn't get it, they're acting like mad. Like there's some crazy stuff on it, and it's just over this shoe. And it's like,
I knew it was going to happen though. The shoe was
yeah, of
always going to
course,
create
yeah. So
tension.
like like you said, Dan, I had no time. I entered my entry. I'm not gonna lie, I did it 20 minutes before deadline when I had a bit of
yeah,
time before one of my meetings. And I think you're never gonna get a good chance to win a pair of shoes like this. Um, you're not like it's always gonna be difficult. And
mm,
respect to Offspring, they want to do their competitions and stuff like that. But I do think that there is a point with it where you know timing for everyone is different. For one,
mm,
um, strengths and skills are different for everyone. Like you're given when no matter what, when you do these sort of competitions, like if you are a videographer, if you are something
Big
in that space,
advantage.
you got a massive advantage, and it's a lot quicker for you to whip something up that's perhaps
Mm.
half decent, right? It may not be up to your taste, or it may be something you put together quickly, but that's still it's great, right? It's a good skill to have.
mm,
Whereas with photography, and it's tricky. It is tricky when you're short on time and you don't have much inspiration. Like it's hard. It's really hard to. I hear you. Like when you need with this sort of stuff, if you have an idea in your head, that idea becomes really easy to actualize. And this has nothing to do with what Offspring can do, right? Like this is at the end of the day, like down to the individuals. So
yeah,
I think it's a sticky one. Like I personally would just prefer a normal raffle, because you, you, when you have thousands and thousands of people entering, and you've only got it's very personal, right? Like when I've only got a couple of like a day or a few hours to kind of get something together, but I'm dog tired from work and
Yeah.
mm,
I've got stuff to do at home. um it just makes it feel like you have less chance than a normal raffle. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, yeah,
But even though they sometimes this
definitely.
just the one was weird because they technically said it was like interpret the things that they said, and
yeah,
then some of the
Yeah,
people that won just
it
posted
didn't.
10 Jordan 1s and won. And
Yeah,
then some people were doing all sorts of madness that had to do with that. So it
yeah.
was like there was no real rhyme or reason to it, to what made you win or lose. So it was a
I
bit of
think
and
a
I think
strange one.
this is this thing that we kind of encounter with and this is not again not throwing shade at Ostrom. We're just talking very transparently here, as we like to do on this podcast. Um, but let's be honest, like there's no consistency to the winners. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
Like I can safely say my entry compared to some of the other entries I saw won did not deserve to win. But I can look at it and say my entry was very similar to X person who won, and your entry was Ash, for example. You could say is similar to X person who won,
Yeah.
but you lost,
mm,
right? So the problem is when you open that can of worms with these competitions, people ask questions and people
Mm-hmm.
notice things, right? And you can't. You're only human. Like, you will notice these things. You can't blissfully ignore stuff like that. So it becomes tricky because, like, it's like, let's be honest, like the four posts, it's all very vague. It's very interpretive to, how you perceive it, right? It's super vague. And people, you could see, like, a lot of people that really went the extra mile rightfully won. They got their just rewards. Like, they put a lot of effort in and they got rewarded for that effort.
It seemed
But
like most people that something that took a bit longer got it, which
yeah,
is
got it. Which, yeah,
fair
fair
enough, I
enough.
guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm.
fair enough. But what you did see as well were certain entries where that was no different to, say, other people's that lost, or that was very different to other winners, as in not in the same level of, like, effort and quality,
Mm.
that also won. And you know, yeah, I mean, let's be
So,
honest. Like, you notice that, and other people notice that, so it makes you question, like, how is it being judged? Like, how do these competitions get judged? Because it's not the first time this has been the case. We've seen it with the 85s, both sets of
Mm.
85s.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
tough one, man. Like, and the thing is, like, on that point of people that put a lot of time in and they've won. Like, I know a couple of people that put a lot of time in and didn't win, and that's hard. Like, and I appreciate, obviously
yeah,
Offspring say on the post, like, if you can't handle the L, don't enter. Which
Yeah.
I respect that, and I think that's true of any raffle, not just this one. Like, anything. If you, like I said, there's been some wild people on Instagram over the weekend, just like mad as hell. And it's like, bro, first of all, man, like, it's a pair of shoes. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Calm down. Like, unless
Honestly,
you,
though, Dan, to a lot of people, it's 3 grand.
well, of course, yeah. I
Most
was
people
gonna
that are
say,
moaning
unless you're
hardcore,
buying,
it's 3 grand to them.
oh, that's it. I
Then a
was gonna
shoe.
say, unless you're buying it to flip it, then obviously,
Yeah.
yeah, you've lost out on a month's salary or whatever. But like, the other aspect of it is, it starts to turn people against each other. Like you just
yeah,
said, you start looking at other people's entries and
yeah,
stuff, and you start going, well, why did you win? Do you know
Mm.
what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
that's harsh. And that was a bit that I don't really like. And as I said, I don't think
It's
that's
tough. There's no way
necessarily.
around it
No,
No,
that's
because
it.
anytime you see the person that won, you want to see, oh, so what? How did you win? And then
yeah,
you're like, wait, what?
yeah, and like
Then it
the
kicks off.
you can't police it because they've got so many entries, right? And there's so many
Mm,
winners that they're going through so many entries, right? That they're gonna just, it's impossible to stick to one level of measurement throughout the whole thing, right? When you're doing
mm,
so many and judging so many, right? But at the same time, if you are gonna run this sort of competition, you want to see some consistency, right? And again, this is not throwing shade. I think, Offspring put up a post saying, "How can we learn and do, you
mm,
know, improve the situation?" And that's really good of them. It's really open to them. But I think, like, if anyone at Offspring or does listen to this or has tuned in or hears about what we're talking about here, it's not meant to come across in a negative way, but it's just being transparent. We're talking directly from the consumer perspective here, right? So let's be honest, like, the competition, we see it, a lot of great entries won, a lot of great entries didn't win, some questionable entries won. But one thing that does come back is that there are a lot of the same winners, aren't there?
Dean, I was going to say the same thing because I get a lot of people like that are pretty new to like the whole Offspring thing, asking me how it works and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
And as I said, I've said it before on the podcast, week after week, they
yeah,
message me and say, this person, they've just noticed it and they're not even been there that long.
yeah,
That the same person's won 3 times in a row. And then the
yeah,
highest heat shoe, they've won it again.
yeah.
And it's like, maybe this person's the most talented videographer in the world. And then more time they're not.
They're
So
not. Yeah, this is
I don't
it.
know.
This is the problem when you, like, they say there's a lot of talk. Oh, it's a new judging panel, it's different people. And again, I'd like to again clarify here. I'm not coming from a position of salt. Yeah,
Same. I don't
I
think
did I
I
did
don't think I
my
deserve to win or anything like that at
me
all.
either. I do
mm.
not think I deserve to win. I whipped my entry up in 20 minutes just to get an entry in because I wanted to try
Yeah.
and win. Right?
I thought it was due in on the Sunday. So I've gone upstairs in the night time to quickly go and do something. I didn't realize it was a whole other day. And I was like, I can't be asked to get them out again to do anything. So I just left
Yeah,
it.
it was just short on time. But like,
Yeah.
I won't lie. I did see a lot of the same people win, and when it's a new judging panel, and you see that, and some of those people's entries are perhaps on, are not on those elevated levels that we see other people provide. you do question it. That's human nature.
Yeah.
Of
You
course, you're
have
going to
to, yeah.
question it, and that's again where I think that fatigue comes into whoever's judging this process. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you
Mm.
cannot be looking at so many entries and clear-headed judging everything continuously. At some point, you're going to be like, "I think that one is better than that one. Let's go. Let's give it to them." Like
Mm.
you're gonna come to that sort of point. So I'm personally not a fan of the creative competitions. I don't like them. I think they cause a lot of tension within this.
It's so open that you can see it that it
ev-
makes it
You,
worse
you
because you
literally,
can judge it yourself and be like,
you can
no
judge
way.
it, and a lot of people like can see. There are times you see certain wins that really make you raise your eyebrows, and then you see
Mm.
people lose, who you're like, "Wow, that person! Surely that person should have won!" Like, and then what you see is that you get these little detectives in the community comparing all the size entries and looking at this person in this size's entry compared to this person. How did this person lose? And they flag it. It like everyone becomes aware, right? So it's a small space, and while I think Offspring are trying to do the right thing all the time with how they distribute shoes and perhaps the way they're kind of what their goal is, the execution and with especially with these creative competitions, they they can leave a little bit of a you're just left a little bit unsure of what really has gone on, which I think is a fair thing to say. Wouldn't you guys say so? I think that's not being overly critical there. I think that's just being transparent again with that how we actually feel, or how we feel about these sort of competitions
Hmm.
and things like that.
I think one of the things I heard, which I think is a good point, is what is good. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what is the standard there?
Mm.
Like you said, it's probably fatigue that's set in, right? But what is the level? What is the good bar, if you like?
Right.
Because is it that I've linked it back to the four posts because I didn't really understand that part. Like,
I didn't either. I
I
didn't
ended
get
it
it
super
either.
late. I wasn't even planning to enter, and then obviously, like I said, had little time, and then definitely got caught by hype and a bit of FOMO. I was like, nah, let me do this. And the four posts, they didn't really make much sense to me in total honesty, and especially when I looked at what other people had written as well. I was like, okay, cool. I kind of see what you're saying, but we're all saying the same thing. Like the Three Goats one, it was like, oh,
Yeah.
Travi,
Yeah.
whatever. I was like, well, okay, so then every entry's the same.
Yeah.
So are you looking at the text from that point? Are you looking at the post? Are you looking at people that have posted multiple posts? Like when they've done a swipe across. Like I think just a bit of clarity on what
Yeah.
is the gold standard
I think
almost.
it's
Do you know what I
better when
mean?
they sometimes do a post and they're like, it's not a creative competition, just post yourself in some Jordan ones. I'd
Yeah.
rather that than like this because I get the idea behind it is to create a buzz. Everyone's excited. Oh, what am I going to do and all that sort of stuff. But as you said, the criteria leads you to how do you judge what
Yeah. And
you need to do to win? Yeah.
it's so subjective. Like, for
Mm,
example, yeah, how do you define what's hitting those points, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, when those some people were going at such ends to meet those like 4 points, so literally, they were like going into like stores or whatever and like videoing themselves doing something, right? How is that any more meaningful than carefully writing how you feel about X or Y with
Yeah.
with
Mm,
your with your content? This is where I feel like it's frustrating. I feel like it's very performative at times. Like, you have to perform, and that's the best way you can show them what they want you to show them. Whereas sometimes, you might not have the tools or be able to necessarily do that, but you can show them through your imagery, you can show them with your caption, you can show them, right? Like, I just feel like it, like you said, it's just too vague. It's like, I think it's impossible. I don't think they can run a competition like that that's ever going to be easy for them to do. I think it's always
mm,
going to be difficult, and I think there's always going to be angry, salty people because, like you said, Ash, it's too visible.
Yeah.
It's too
yeah.
As I said, it's
visible.
people that are not proper into it. Like we know everybody because we've been
Yeah,
here from time, but
years.
these are people that are like fresh to it, and they're like, I see that guy every time.
Yeah.
How
Mm,
comes he? What's the story?
I've seen so many screenshots in the past few days going round of like people basically pointing out how X person won and how X person's entry was no different to this entry
Hmm.
or worse than this entry, but that one lost, and they're in the same size. And that's the thing, when you have this competition, you
It
have
leads to it.
it leads you're opening yourself up to that, right? And I think if, if I'm being completely honest, every competition from both 85s to now has had some very very peculiar uh decisions where you are wondering what is the criteria here, how is this
Hmm.
being judged, because you want to know, because to the layman's eye, to us looking at it, you can't see it sometimes,
But
so
then the to be devil's advocate almost
yeah.
is I don't think the other raffle entries would have worked. Do you know what I mean? Because I think by the sounds of things, there's so few. Like Ash was saying, post what Jordan 1 you'd come to pick up. Then if there's not many, then how are they picking that? Because then if someone then pulls out, I don't know, an 85 Chicago, then we're like, oh cool, well, there you go, that's the win. It's like, yeah, well, I didn't have a
Mm.
chance to get that. Do you know what I mean? And then I think like
Yeah,
the door and the keywords and all of that stuff,
Thing
like
is, when
for
the
me,
raffle is
it's hard, isn't
handpicked,
it?
which a lot of them are, it's
Mm,
up to, you know what I'm saying? It's there
yeah,
yeah,
for you. If it's handpicked and you win every week, what does that mean?
yeah,
It's not random.
it's hard, man. And the thing is, like, I'll be honest, like, people probably think I'm a bit of a dick, but I rate what they do. I rate most of the stuff they do. I very rarely kind of have an issue with anything that they do. And before anyone says it, last time I won was in March, so don't worry. Like, I'm not I'm not there every week. Um, but like, I not I don't want to say that their hands were tied, but I kind of don't see what they could have done differently, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, like I just said, the four posts, it was confusing, and it definitely confused me. But I can't see, like, when what was it?
I
Three
think they should
retailers
just
dropped them.
I think they just should run a raffle like other
Just do a
retailers do.
raffle.
Yeah, I just think just run a raffle like other retailers do, and it's actually less work for them. They just go in and
Yeah,
pick the winners and have to judge all these entries. You don't get anywhere near as much salt because it's going to be the same. If people are going to complain, they're going to complain. What you're doing here is basically giving people ammunition if they see something that they think is, whoa, that don't make sense, in it, right? Like,
yeah,
but I'm
The thing
with
is,
you.
though, OS's whole motto has been this community thing. They want people to be checking out everybody else's photos, follow each other, talk to each other, have a lit comment section. That's so. I think going away from that they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But this way they do it leaves it up to scrutiny. This is why
No,
people get
look,
upset and
I
stuff.
think, like Dan said, I think for me, they're like, they've been the most intuitive and innovative retailer in the UK for sneakers, hands
Yep,
down.
yep, yep.
mm.
And I don't want this to come across in a negative way,
No, of course.
but I think we do need to have these discussions around. Offspring are a massive part of the UK sneaker scene. They just are.
Mm.
Like, they are a huge part of it. And
It's because they're vocal. And SNS are just a shop. You can't speak to anybody. They're not going to reply to you. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, no, it's true. They like
Even
there's
like, look at the one that's thing. If the Offspring, if the box happened, they had to reply and talk about it. If that was N, they wouldn't say anything. They wouldn't give a
no,
fuck.
Offspring are accountable, and that's what they
Yeah.
try and be, and that's what's
Hmm.
great about them. And I think that's why we wanted to talk about this today, because they opened up the door with that post they made about what's the best way of going about it. I initially wrote down, I said, you know what, I think the competitions are fine if we had a bit more time, but then I had time to think about it since then, and I do wonder if the competitions like do more harm than good within the community itself. I think it's an interesting one, but you know, I think
I
congrats
know
to
what
all
you
the
mean.
winners.
I think it
Yeah,
works both ways. To be honest,
I
as you
think,
said.
yeah, I think, like you said though as well, if there was a bit more time, then maybe it'd be a bit different. Because like it's quite quick, isn't it? Like, what was it? Was it 2 days?
2 days,
Yeah, it
man.
was on the
Yeah,
Two
Saturday. You had the
days?
Sunday and then the
And
Monday morning.
that's
Yeah.
a lot, man. That's a lot. Like, especially when you think about like just how everything is at the moment. Like, I kind of just value my time I get to spend with family.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah.
obviously, like I was working as well. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of like it was hard.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if there was a bit more time, then sure, I would have probably banged something out like After Effects or something, and maybe it would have been a different outcome. But
Hmm.
and that's not the reason I'm saying more time. But I think then it kind of removes that part of, oh well, you're good at that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that's true, but you've also had like X amount of time to work on something, and the thing is, reach out to people in it as well. Like, But
Yeah,
yeah, the thing is, we could go on all night about it because
yeah.
I actually don't think there is there's not a way that's going to
Every
please
time they
everyone, isn't
talk
there?
about their raffles, it always ends up being that there is no solution to it because
Mm,
everyone disagrees. So they're
Yeah.
just going to keep doing it their way, and other stores do it their way.
I think whatever they're gonna do, what they're gonna do. We're just here for the ride. We follow. We try and get the shoes that we want, and we watch from the sidelines. Like just, I think, it's just good to. One thing about this pod is that we have a really good relationship with Offspring. We'd be lying if we said we didn't. All three of us, Dan as well, we've been shopping there for a long time.
Yeah,
We've
mm,
worked with them. We've done a lot of bits and pieces with them, and they're hands down, you know, been a big reason why we have a lot of us have the shoes that we do. But
hundred
I
mm,
percent. Yeah,
but I don't want that to stop us talking openly and honestly
yeah,
about these things. And
no,
I
yeah,
think,
you can't. Yeah, you're not
yeah,
going to just
so
sugarcoat stuff just because of that. No.
absolutely, absolutely. So it's just something to be aware of. And I think, again, if anyone from Offspring is listening, this is all meant to be constructive, and I hope it's useful information as opposed to anything that's could be seen as negative. But we talk about all the brands like this, and poor Adidas have got it the worst. So hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully, no one from Adidas is listening to
please
this.
don't
If
stay
they
away.
listen,
no, hopefully they are.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, maybe actually.
yeah, maybe.
Right, guys, I got quickly on this the Travis topic quickly. So sneakers didn't happen. Do you guys
Yeah,
think that it will happen, and would that make the
Yeah,
price go down if it does?
it's defo happening. I think Offspring
you
even said
reckon?
they said keep your eyes open, didn't they? They're gonna appear in other places. Where's the one place
Mm.
they can appear?
Do you think it's going to be like sneakers? Sneakers Day is what, a week away, isn't it? Sunday.
Eighth
Yeah,
in it normally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
even know what day it is
I think it's
yesterday.
really interesting that they've flipped it, like the way they did the low and the high on the OG. They seem to be
Mm.
doing the same now. This one where the high has barely released.
Oh yeah, because the low was just that one release, and that was it,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah,
Mm,
yeah. And I think and the low is meant to have a lot of numbers this time around. So I think
Yeah.
that's going to have the wider release. It's like they've kind of flipped them, but even
Mm.
more extreme. So I think it will come to sneakers though, but I think it's going to be one of those ones where Ash you'll secure through K, but not many of us will get a pair.
I probably won't even be able to log on. My sneakers up flipping
That's
away
what Ash is
prices.
so
So
keen to know. Is like, what about sneakers, man? I need to know about sneakers. He knows
that's
he's
his
got that
plug.
3 rack
That's
there
his
waiting
plug.
for him like
Send it
that.
to EA, please.
Oh,
All right,
man.
guys, enough Travis.
Ash gonna get EA on a release that's like released 2 weeks ago. It's like here's your delayed EA for you, bro.
We're sorry.
You missed the link. Here it is again.
Yeah, we were gonna give Dean EA, but we decided here's your EA, Ash. That's what's gonna happen, man.
All right, guys. Next segment. It's our favorite part of the podcast, where the listeners get to answer us absolutely anything that's going on within the sneaker realm. This week on HSU Question Time, we've got a few questions from you guys. So big shout out to you guys for getting involved each and every week. And the first question comes from Mike and Kicks. Shout out to Mikey. It says, if money wasn't an issue and you could buy any 3 sneakers in the world, what would you get? I'll start with you, Dan.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, big question. Well, sometimes I do wonder why you bring me back on the pod because all I'm going to talk about is Air Max ones and Jordan 3. So,
I like it.
yeah, I think for this one, quick free. You know what? They're actually probably going to be pattern collabs. The Cherrywood Air Max one,
Mm-hmm.
probably the purple denim Air Max one, and then the lucky green Air Max one. That would be pretty sick to have. I mean, the thing is, like, none of them are hugely unattainable. Do you know what I mean? They're not like like mags are like stupid money, like
Yeah.
50 grand. Like they're not like that. But I mean,
It's still bucks, though, isn't it?
I won't pay over retail for most things. So yeah, these would be the 3 I'd probably go for.
What about you, Dean?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, for me, 1985 Jordan 1 Chicago,
Are they
easily.
wearable, or is it just to have?
I just want it to have. I don't want it
Yeah.
that. I don't want like the clean version. It's like the
Okay,
really
yeah,
clean
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I don't want the black toe because that's even rarer to find from 85.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And then finally, like if we were gonna go a bit more recent, I might go for the Colette, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that pair. I think it's
The
such a
Storm Blue.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
so cool. I really like all the details on it, and I
Beautiful
think
shoe.
it is a beautiful shoe, and I think it's one of those ones where those friends and family pairs that is just really executed to perfection. Like it just really is a thoughtful, brilliant pair. So I'd go with. There's so many, man. Really, there's so many. But if I'd go with three off the top of my head, I'd go with that for now. Yeah.
that's a big three. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
steal
that
one
is.
of yours. The Colette is in mine as well. That
Mm,
is just a sick shoe. I think Mo saw that, didn't he, at that gallery thing that he went to, whatever it was called. Mo saw them in person, which was cool. Next would be the New Balance 992 Joe Fresh Goods because they're unattainable. Like the price has gone crazy on those. And the third one, damn, what would it be? Might be a bit boring and gets. Nah, see, it would be shattered backboards, but it's just I can't. I don't even want them shoes anymore. It's like it's annoyed me so much
mm,
that I don't think I'd even buy them. Maybe there's some regular frags just to have, nice
just throw
proper
it in there.
frag collaboration in the proper color blocking. So that might be my three. Question number 2 comes from Sneakers. I don't know how you pronounce that. Sneakers Turt. He says, if you could only pick up GRs for the rest of your collecting days, what silhouette would it be, Dean?
That's a good question, man. Um,
What counts as a GR? Are we talking
that's the
like
thing.
Jordan 1 bread? Is that a GR? Or
Mm.
if
At
it's
the
not a
time, it was.
collaboration?
I've
I don't
got
know.
it's gonna be one of the New Balance ones, isn't it? If we're gonna go like comfort,
Mm,
like if we're going
Mm.
proper GR, right? Not like hype GR, right?
yeah, that makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah. It's tough still, man.
Are your 180s or Ferreros in contention or no?
Vomero could be. They are like so comfortable. The Vomero SP5, that's the best one.
Hmm.
I like that one. But for the rest of my life,
That's the
um,
thing, man. Fuck.
you know what? I'm getting older. They're a bit of a dad shoe. Let's go with. I don't know, man. Vomero sounds like it could be, but I'm just picturing myself like only wearing that and feeling depressed a little bit. So God knows. What do you guys think, man?
Going for it, Dan. I know what he's
uh,
going
I,
to say.
yeah, of course, it's going to be an Air Max One. Like I said, this is going to be a
Yeah.
really boring podcast. Yeah, probably Air Max One. And to be honest, like a lot of them that drop, they are kind of GR. Like obviously you got the
Yeah.
collab ones that do they do
Those
bits and they do
Magmas, the
numbers.
Evergreens, that was a
Yeah,
GR.
exactly.
They're
Yeah,
fire.
they're GR. Like the yours pair, they dropped when they dropped like December, I think it was, and I actually picked them up in Offspring not too long ago in the sale. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be quite happy with that. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. And like you
Yeah.
said, when you're getting a bit older as well, they don't look as
Comfort.
out of place, and yeah, your comfort.
Yeah. If see Air Max ones, I've got quite a few of them, but I don't find Air Max ones super comfortable. Like width wise, I think my feet are just fucking massive, and the fatter I get, it just makes it even worse. So Air Max ones are not the most comfortable shoe for me. So it wouldn't be them. Looks wise, it'd probably be workout because there's so many dope GRs. But I'd probably go New Balance 992 or Saucony Shadow 6000. One of those two. They're comfortable, and most of the GRs are just dope anyway. So probably one of those two for me. Question number 3 is from at Walker Jacob 89, and he says, "Do you agree that DJ Clark Kent is just obnoxious?" Thoughts? I'll start and say yes. I just
Well,
can't stand that guy. I just find him so annoying. What about you guys?
Yeah, do you know what? Like, he doesn't do anything for me. Like, sometimes I feel like like, he's overly harsh or like overly opinionated just for the
yeah,
sake of it.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really care if someone is that way, but when it feels like he just does it just to be like that, like to live
He
up to
acts like
kind
he
of.
fucking made the Air Force One, like he invented it or something.
I know, man. I know.
He's like, I
I,
make shoes. No,
I
you
think,
don't. You just
I think
fucking say
like
what you want on it.
he's done a lot for the culture, and he's
Yeah.
been a big part of the culture for a long time. But he's annoying as fuck. He is
Yeah.
annoying as fuck. Like, let's
He
be
is.
honest. I don't watch his content, or like I'll only watch it when he's featured in something. I'll never
Yeah.
watch something that he is
Yeah, like a complex panel. I'll have to
Yeah,
watch it just because I want to, but I don't
yeah.
want to
But
really hear any bits.
I'm not gonna watch an interview with Clark
No,
Kent.
no, no,
No
no,
way.
no,
No way. Yeah.
no.
Yeah,
So
I feel
gangster.
the same. Yeah, it's weird. Like, obviously, he knows his stuff, and he knows like you said, he knows the impact that he's had, but there's just no humbleness about it at all.
No.
And it's like, okay, cool. And to be honest, like I feel the same about some of them other guys as well. And it's just like, okay, cool, bro. Like, yeah, you have had a huge impact, and I respect what you do in like your collection and all of that. But you're being a bit of a dick.
It's like sneakers have become so popular now. They just want people to remember. Hey, remember that I was
Yeah.
around. Like, relax. If you're that great, people will still talk about you. Trust me. You know. Right. Question number 4 from In Kicks We Trust. What are your thoughts on Space Jam: A New Legacy? Have either of you guys seen that film yet?
No, not yet.
Have you seen it, Dean? On mute if you didn't know.
Sorry again. You know what? I've not seen it, and everyone I know that has seen it has said it is fucking terrible. So
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna go and watch it.
I've heard that too.
So
Yeah.
I've seen it, and as you know, I'm a LeBron fan, so might be biased, but I thought it was good. I
Okay.
thought it was
Well,
pretty funny at times. The visuals were cool. Story was what it is for like a kid story. I had no issues with it at all. I keep saying to people like you can't compare it to a film that you saw as a kid, like seeing it as a big grown adult now. Like if your like little kid enjoys it, that's sort of like the bar for it. Like for us, it's a bit tricky to
Yeah.
compare the two, but I thought it
mhm.
was pretty good to be honest. I know a lot
How
of people
does it
said it was
and
shit. What's
how
that?
does it compare to the first one? Like is it like a straight sequel or is it just a remake?
It's not a remake at all. No,
Okay.
it's a much more modern, as you would expect, like version of it, like way more digital stuff going on and all
Mm.
craziness, but same sort of concept.
Right,
Boys
right,
playing
right.
against like souped up basketball players at the end of the film, kind of thing. But I enjoyed it. I'd say check it out. Obviously, don't pay for it. Fuck that. I didn't pay for it. I saw it for free, but it's worth checking out if you can see it from some other means. Question number 5 from C Dean 84. Shout out Craig the troll. Do you feel that the sneaker scene is oversaturated? And if so, how do brands counteract and keep people interested in on releases? Dean,
Ooh, what a question.
major, innit?
The sneaker scene is beyond oversaturated. I mean,
I don't know how it's functioning right now.
oh
It's so
god,
crazy.
you know, like, to be honest with you, I don't think it really is functioning. Like what you're seeing is a lot of pairs sitting, a lot of pairs like being snapped up by resellers, and then they can't move them. Like
Mm.
so many people want to resell sneakers that they outweigh the people that just want sneakers. And when you got
Yep.
that situation, everything is just like Nike are still pumping out releases at crazy rates, but there's not enough people that actually want to buy them. Like
Yep.
there just
Mm.
isn't. Like look at these shitty Sakai Blazer lows. Like my god, anyone that looks at that shoe and doesn't think that shoe is just whack. I would love to know why. Like it looks so bad.
The
It's
cut
so
of it is just
it's
gross.
so long. The cut is so weird. The tongue is so long. Like to me, that just kind of sums up like the oversaturation point. Like that is a ridiculous sneaker that no one would even piss on if it was like a GR. No, if that was a GR, people would be laughing
You'll be
at
sitting
that.
there forever.
That'll be at £20 on the sale rack, yeah.
Yep.
But now we've got
100%.
people like twerking to get them on raffles, and it's crazy. I think there's so much oversaturation that people have actually lost sight of what you know. We've all been guilty of it. I've been there. We've all been there. Dan, you're probably a little bit more on the straight and narrow. Keep yourself away from that shit and
I
not
wish
buy
we
it.
was more like
Yeah,
Dan, man. Guys,
not buy into bollocks.
literally buying what he likes.
Yeah.
Only. I wish I could say that.
And I don't think brands can counteract it. I think there are too many releases being pumped out, too many collabs every single week that brands just
Mm.
like. I just think this is on the route they're on. They're not going to stop that. They're seeing the money they're making. You know, it needs a complete shift of sentiment for brands to stop. They consumers
Mm.
just need to stop buying, and
What
that's
percent
only.
of pairs do you think are being bought to resell these days?
Oh,
I
it's
would
huge.
Like
I would say over 50%.
it
Yeah,
feels like that, isn't it? I think
Yeah,
most pairs
hype
are in someone's
releases,
room. Yeah.
over 50%. And how you know this is that like like Jordans that would come out like threes and fours that even a year and a half ago, 2 years that would come out and stay online for a few days
yeah,
are now gone within an hour before people even know if they're valuable or not. And then
Yeah.
what you see then is the returns come back, and then they come back online, and then like they're on eBay for £5 above retail,
Yeah.
and that's how you know like there's more resellers than consumers now because they just snap them all up and see what they can do and then make a
It's worth to
decision
try to
after that.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, because man, you've seen some ridiculous sales. Seeing Jordan mids go for like 250, £300, like it's absolutely crazy, crazy.
What about you, and Batch?
yeah. Yeah, massive. I mean, everything that Dean just said, pretty much. But like, yeah, 100% it's oversaturated. Like, I saw a couple of days ago, I walked through like Bond Street. I was actually on my way up to Osprey. Walked through Bond Street, and you can see the amount, like the difference between now and even really just like 2 years ago, like pre-pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you wouldn't see a dunk, or you wouldn't see a Jordan 1 anywhere else. And if you did, like, you knew that that
You can give them the
person
nod.
was
You
like,
knew what they
yeah,
was
exactly,
doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
they was proper into it, and like, yeah, you knew they knew what they was about. And like you said, you give them the nod and you kind of get a little bit of respect. But I remember doing it
Yeah.
before with some guy, Jordan 3s on the other side of the road. I was like, oh, nice shoes. And like, there was just a small like exchange. But now it's everyone, and it's mad. And like Dean said, like, there's obviously everyone's trying to buy to resell. And the thing is with that is that hit a peak in the pandemic, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of people looked into it, read up on it,
Yeah,
was like, right,
yeah.
this is easy to make money. I've either lost my job or I'm on furlough, or, all these really shitty times for people. Like, it's hard, right? Of
Hmm.
course. And and I've sort of like, feel sad for people that they've gone through, but then they look at this and think this is easy, and then they've all bought the same shoe and not been
Hmm.
able to sell it, or they
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
get the shoe because someone's bought 50 pairs of it and it's a Jordan 1
hmm
mid, because they've got all the time in the world and just get on their scooter and go down to Foot Locker on Oxford Street. But like, for me, it just needs a massive reset on it. And the thing is, by that I mean the releases need to slow down, because it's almost like, I don't want to say it's
It's too
boring, but
often now. Yeah.
I have felt like that recently. Like, I've not bought anything new, like, at all. I've only gone back, except from, like, obviously I mentioned like the Patavans the other day, but like, I've gone back more than anything, which I've appreciated having the time to do. But looking at the releases that are coming up, nothing has been exciting, and pairs that would have potentially caught me in hype, or got me excited a few years ago, they're just so, like, in a wave of shoes each
Yeah.
week that I just don't really care. Do you know what I
It's
mean? Like,
like the
this.
fragment dunks. There was a hype for that. Then it was gone. Then it was like
I
no one
went in
cares
Foot
about it
Patrol.
anymore.
Foot Patrol today. They had them on the shelf.
Yeah. But
Um,
before
you
that,
know,
everyone was like, "Oh, I need that, need that, need that." But it's
yeah,
like, do you
exactly.
really? No one really
And
likes it that much.
the thing is, like, I popped onto the sneakers app. I still check it like every other day, and I'm gonna go onto there now. So there was one shoe on there this morning on the upcoming thing, and I'm sure it's updated. It's gonna load now, but like, I'm sure there's now like 6 or 7 shoes. So like, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the next week.
Bloody hell!
5 pairs of shoes. Like,
Anything good?
no. Not for me anyway. What's
Typical.
on there? There's a 90 on there. That's all right. It's a laser one, and there's a woman's Jordan 1, which I think we're going to talk about later. But
Okay.
like, I don't care. Like, they just need to hit reset and just kind of slow the releases down, slow the collabs down. Do you know what I mean? Like, the GRs are fine, cool. Like, obviously release them, but the collabs are every week and they don't mean anything anymore. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You
Like,
can't get excited because it's just
nah,
another one.
it's impossible.
It's a good and a bad thing as a collector because if you take an L, literally next week there's going to be 2 more pairs that you can try and buy. But if you really wanted that shoe, you shouldn't really be moving on so quickly. But it's just what we do
Mm.
because we don't want to hold on to that L for too long.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I think it's the excitement's gone in it as well.
Hmm.
Like, when you knew about a shoe, like let's say, for instance, like next year's 85. I know there's been like a rumored picture of it. I think it's like Georgetown, right? Like a navy blue. It's kind of nice, but you should see that and be excited. But like, I see it and think, how many shoes there are before this? Like, I
Hmm.
almost can't care about it yet, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
but because it's so oversaturated that it almost doesn't matter about these rumors and whatever, because there's just so many that are going to come up in between that and even just like 2 weeks time. Like the Travi Lows come out, what was it, the 13th, 14th, whatever that is, and there's like, well, there's sneakers day in between that as well. So
Oh
like,
God.
do you know what I mean? Like it's yeah, way too much, man.
I
Like,
guarantee you, by the time the Travis Lows are out, people have totally forgotten about the highs and will be doing the most to get these lows.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, look how quickly it happened. Like the highs drops the next day, everyone released their raffle for the lows.
Yeah.
And the next day, it's like, wow, okay,
On to
cool.
the
We
next
can't even
one.
like let people breathe, man.
What's the last shoe that you guys were really excited about coming out? Like really excited, like I need these.
Union 4 off Noir.
The first, okay.
Yeah, that's the last one where I was super. Like I paid resale
Yeah.
the day it came out. The 85 I was excited by, but again,
What neutrals?
yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't like it didn't
Yeah, I'm the
really.
same. I really wanted it, but I wasn't like, this
Yeah,
is the shoe
this
I
is
have to
like
have.
let me put it like this, right? Like that shoe is still around £300. Like I should have doubled by now. Like I should have bought a double
Yeah.
and I haven't. So yeah, it's a great shoe, but the off noir, the color palette being so like different and weird, and the textures on the materials that really excited me. It's very rare, man. It's very rare. There's been a few New Balance releases. The 550 was exciting, but again, I wouldn't have paid resale if I
Yeah,
lost.
if we'd taken L's, we wouldn't have been paying
Nah, I
300.
wouldn't have paid resale.
No.
No way. So the highs. So I'm a bit confused on those highs recently. Actually, that those ones that came out.
The
Well,
650.
the reservation.
Yeah.
Like, does it mean that we have them?
Surely.
I think it
so.
does. Yeah.
It can't be a raffle for a raffle.
No,
innit?
I think
They're taking your money. That's a
I read
pre-order.
it. I read over it again after having paid the full pre-order. I was thinking that's got to be like that ain't a raffle, innit?
We're going to tell you in 6 months if you won or not.
Yeah. Anyway, but I'm excited for that. I went for the green,
Nice.
and yeah.
Did you see those, Dan? Those
Yeah, I
pickups?
did.
Yeah.
I really like that release
I think they're
method as
cool.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's kind of
The
it's
time
long,
is a
isn't
bit
it?
long
Obviously,
though. Yeah.
but
No, do you know what,
like,
Ash? If it guarantees you a pair, I'm okay with
yeah.
it. I'm okay with it.
And also, then by the time 6 months flies around, you'll be like, oh, I've already paid for this, so this is basically a free shoe. Be
Yeah.
buzzing when that comes
Yeah,
through.
the money's long forgotten. What about you for a shoe you last was really into?
Last one was probably I'm gonna butcher the name, but the Manier Freeze.
Oh
Like
yeah, I forgot
I
about
was
that.
having them by any means, and I don't pay resale, but I paid resale for them because I had to, because they basically didn't
You're a
release
free
over
guy as
here
well.
in my
Yeah.
size.
Yeah.
Before that, it was actually this year. I guess ain't. Well, I say it's been good, but flipping those two shoes. The Clot Air Max 1, like
Oh
again, just
yeah,
from the
you're right.
retro
Did you get
perspective.
any of the new ones?
I got the original, the Kiss of Death one. I got the Char, but I didn't get
Okay.
the one that just released.
Or the red toe box kind of one?
Yeah, like I didn't hit the raffle sadly, but the price is decent, so I will get it at some point. Like, but yeah, is what it is, man.
Not bad, not bad. All right, guys. Question number 6 is from Lone Ranger. Who out of your friends has the best sneaker collection? Dean, you.
Starting balls at him.
In terms of volume, probably Craig.
I need to see. I keep hearing.
In terms of like Jordans and like classics and like all of that sort of stuff, like
They got everything.
What's sick about Craig's collection is that like he could like talk you through it and it'll be a good time. Do you know what I mean? Like you'll really enjoy it. I think there are probably other collectors that have way more of the more recent hype pairs, but there's less to say around those. So for me, I don't know. I think all my friends have amazing fucking sneaker collections. To be honest with you, like all of you, both of you guys, Cassim, Mo, Jeff, everyone has got like
it's quite crazy when you think about it, isn't it? Like how much we all have. It's kind of
yeah.
wild.
Everyone's got a wild collection. Like Ash, you got a crazy collection in total, especially
mine's
like
a fucking variety.
yeah,
Abundance.
bare variety in there. You know, I think all of you lot need your heads checked, but there's
I agree.
there's some brilliant like collections in my friendship circle. So, it's hard to pick one. I feel like even like Jigger, for example, Jigger's got like an
Yep.
incredible range of Air
There'll be
Max
like a
and
six
Jordans.
competition, and I'm like, right, I didn't know you had all of them
Yeah, like
at
Mm.
Lulu.
Jigger's got a lot of pairs as well, man. So it's hard to say. I think it's very subjective, and you know, if we go personally to my taste,
Yeah.
like specifically to my taste, I would probably. I don't know, man, because it's impossible without seeing everyone's collections like
Yeah.
in front of
I
you.
need a fresh look of it. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Everyone's got amazing collections. So
What about you, Batch? Who's got like a
No,
Air Max One collection or something that you would
man.
love?
Well, there's one guy that obviously comes to mind. It's, Soul Love, Stevie
Oh
Ryder, isn't it?
yeah, of
oh
course.
yeah,
He's Air
Yeah,
Max One
Jesus
collection,
Christ, of
man.
course. Yeah.
I'd like, bro. What was the question earlier? If money was no object, bro, I'd
Yeah.
just give it all
Spice
to him.
collection.
But like, come on,
his collection.
like, even if you just like part ownership or whatever, yeah, that's mad. Like, that's an insane collection. The thing is, like, when you think that he'll post something and you think, oh, sick, like, yeah, I haven't seen that pair, or like, or I just haven't seen that pair. Do you know what I mean? And then the next day, he's got another pair that you haven't seen. Then the next day is another pair you haven't seen. It's like, oh shit, I actually don't know anything about this shoe. Like, this guy's, yeah, it's a whole nother level. Yeah, I'd love to just have a look at it. Be insane.
Yeah, he's the fucking guy when it comes to Air Max, man.
Mm.
Insane. For me, I wouldn't say I wouldn't say he's my friend, not even at all actually. But I'm gonna say someone's collection that I'd want. I don't know his proper name, but on IG it's Change Key. Do you know what I'm
Oh
talking about,
God,
Dean?
yeah,
That
man.
guy has the
Woo!
most insane collection you'll ever see for like everything pretty much. Like if there's a New Balance shoe, he's got it.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
there's a ASIC shoe,
Really?
he's got it. If there's a
yeah.
Jordan, he's probably got it. He's just I don't know how he does it. If he's the
Nah,
richest man in the world or something, but boy,
yeah. His collection is nuts. His collection is nuts.
absolutely incredible.
Master Variant as well has one of the craziest collections of dunks
Mm,
and things like that. Like he's a proper OG, and if anyone wants to go look at some like really rare, incredible sneakers, Master Variant on IG is an absolute must follow.
proper.
Uh, yeah, these guys just got. I mean, Change Key is just. I
Is
mean,
this crazy?
but like
Every week
I'm
something
looking
comes
at it
out, I
now.
message him and I say, "Did you get
it
those?" Like,
is
of course I did.
fucking crazy, man. Like he's just got it on smash, and
And he's got dope pictures as well. Added to it.
salute to those guys, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both G's. Right. Last question is from Lucky 13 Kicks. What's the next pair you want to see get the Nike OG treatment from Jumpman? Dean.
Um. Ugh. I don't want any of the ones except for maybe like the metallic orange to come back. But even then, I didn't like the purple they did. They butchered it with the
Oh boy,
tongue.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Did you
they,
actually get any of them in the end?
I won one and I returned it. I didn't like it. It was terrible.
That's I think you can sort of
Really?
buy that
It,
now.
re-
Can't
it
you?
really
Yeah.
ups.
That
It
was bad.
really pissed me off, that pair, because that's the first time they've dropped that, right? And it was just below par. It was subpar, not good enough. Needs to be better.
Was it a
Um,
women's pair in
it
the
was a
end
women's
Yeah.
pair, and they did them dirty like they always do.
with the
But
bad laces? And
also
stuff?
not just that, just like the shape was weird. It just
The leather was
weird.
weird as well.
Where like the whole thing is like this is like like an old colorway. Like, please, where is the respect? Where is the respect for the shoe? Like, yeah,
Someone
man.
up there, George Jumpman, thought this is gonna bang. This is the one, though. I
It's
don't know how they
still
come to that
sitting.
decision.
It's still sitting. Like you can get that. That's the first Jordan in like an OG or old colorway that is just an easy cop. Even at this point, like it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. That was such a flop. Such a flop. Yeah.
I really wanted it as well. And it didn't drop in my size. It was annoying, but now I'm
Nah,
pleased
do
because
you know what, Dan? I won one, and it was so rubbish. Like I returned it. Like I rarely ever do that, and like yeah, just not good enough. Not good enough from Jordan Brand on that shoe.
What about you, Dan?
Yeah.
There's a couple. I think, and Dean mentioned it a bit earlier, but the 85 shape on the bread toe would be bread toe, black toe. Sorry, the black toe would be
Woo!
sick.
Yeah.
Like that's
Nah,
my
you can't even
favorite
dream of that, man.
OG.
Oh
Like,
man, that would like see that's a
Take my
pair
dough.
I would pay resale like straight away.
it would cause a riot.
I knew I wouldn't be winning them, so I'm gonna just pay retail, and that's it. Like nice and
Yeah,
early, nice. Yeah, that
I
would be
think
a
I think
crazy.
that'd be sick. I'd love to see that. And I'm surprised they haven't. It's been really weird, the 85 cuts, because obviously
Yeah.
they've done one OG colorway, and that's it. But
The
there's
first
three
pair they
shoes, so
started with
like
made no sense.
Nah,
no sense
the
at
whole
all. And
thing is
No.
weird. The whole thing
yeah,
is weird, man. Even the
Even the
I
second pair was that red and white one, wasn't it? From the New Beginners
yeah,
pack.
New beginnings pack. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, the
Another new
one.
colorway. Like, what
Oh
are you
no no
doing?
no yeah, the red and white one. Yeah, I forgot all about
yeah.
that
Yeah,
one.
because it was such a weirdo release.
It's
Did it
nice
even
though.
release properly?
Nah,
Where did that
Nah,
release? Just America?
USA, man. Just in
US
Chicago.
only.
Just
Oh
in
God.
Chicago.
Oh boy.
It's mad. But I thought they was gonna
Oh,
do the Chicago blocking soon, but obviously not. I thought
do you
like
know
they're gonna
what?
strike while the iron's hot. But
I can't even be bothered to deal with the frustration of an 85 Chicago. Like it's just gonna piss me off. The minute I see that
You
image
think this
come
Travis
up, I'm gonna be
release was bad?
so
Yeah.
annoyed. Like, yeah, man. Oh boy, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. Yeah,
but
That's
yeah,
how I always feel
yeah,
about a bread release now. I just feel like it'll
yeah,
just annoy me.
it's just not
yeah.
worth the hassle,
Rather
bro.
it not come out.
But yeah, Black Toe would be sick. I'd love to see them do the. I mean, they kind of did it on the freeze, but subtly, and didn't really talk about it as much. Obviously, there's a few other things they can do, but yeah, the black cement and white cement in like an 88 cut would be pretty sick as well. But
Yeah, white cement is what that's
we'll
what I always
see.
said. I need
Whew.
that. Need that,
Yeah, that would be crazy.
please.
We'll see.
Right, guys. Don't forget to get involved with the HUSU question time. If you've got any HUSU questions, sorry, I said it again. don't forget to get involved in HSU question time. If your HSU question didn't get mentioned this episode, it will be carried over to next week's episode. So a big shout out to everyone that got their questions in. Next we got half size up. We've got bloody hell. Why have you written that word? On to the next part of Half Size Up, we have Cop of the Week. In this segment, we discuss what sneakers we copped or wanted to cop this week. And this week, we'll start with myself. I copped one pair this week. Well, Kay did. She won on sneakers again. Shout out to Dean for sending the vibes. Helping that happen. I managed to get the Ambush, what they called, Lime. I can't remember what they're called.
Oh
What's that
yeah.
colorway?
Oh yeah, the
I mean,
dunk high
lime,
thing.
Yeah, the Dunk
lime.
Lime something
Yeah,
colorway. I put it on my stories and I was like, so I've got the Gatorade
yeah.
lemon limes and it's like a similar colorway. It's like, do I need both of them? Probably not. Which one should I get rid of? Most people said get rid of. In fact, I think it was about 50-50 to be fair. But I think I'm leaning towards returning or getting rid of the Ambush because
Yeah, man.
Jordan ones are just more
Yeah,
comfortable.
That
keep the
And
Gatorade
Gatorades.
that
it's a nice
Gatorade
pair.
pair is also it's a nice pair, but it's also really rare. And like
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh because like you know those pairs that are so slept on that no one wants them,
Proper.
they just
yeah, 'cause-
disappear. They
Yeah.
always just disappear, and that's happened with this one. Hold that pair. It's a really cool pair. I thought the Gatorade releases were really dope, and
Yeah.
I
I
think
remember on release, I was working. Lucky I had like a half day or something like that, and then I missed out. I think online. And then I went to Nighttown quickly, and it was like the last size 10 was there in that pair, and I was just gassed to pick that one
fate,
up.
I
fate,
vaguely remember the blue pair being in stock for
Yeah, I
months.
think the other ones were the blue and
that
the orange.
that
They were
blue
Mm,
around.
pair, I've seen some people do some incredible
yeah,
customizations on
Is
that
it?
blue pair. Yeah, because you know how it's all blue, like changing some of the paneling white with the Gatorade
mm.
logo and shit. It just looks
Mm.
incredible, man. It looks so good. Like,
Was
yeah,
there a fourth colorway? Am I making up?
there's an orange and a purple.
Oh, it's a purple.
Was
That's
that
what I was thinking of.
purple? I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
remember
Yeah,
the purple at
there's a
all.
full purple one. Yeah,
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't know
Oh,
if
yeah.
that
The blue
really.
was really light blue, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah.
was
I'm
like
Mm.
a
thinking now. Yeah.
UNC almost.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it was a really cool pack, and I think the like packaging with it in the towel and stuff was really
Yeah,
cool.
that was cool. That was
Yeah.
The
So
cool.
sixes they done for it that were nice as well. The whole
yeah,
set was nice.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did they do two? There was the green one.
There's a green one, then when it like a white and orange or
Yeah, it was
orange
kind
and
of like
something.
the Carmine kind of color blocking, I
Mm.
think. Another one, yeah, that was quite a dope drop. What about you guys? Any of you cop anything this week?
For me, I mean, I think I copped with Aim Leon Dor on the reserve.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I went for the green because I couldn't decide. Like, I wasn't going to buy both and pay £360 for two shoes that I'm not getting for, um, another God knows how long, six
Yeah.
months. So I went for the green, and that was primarily because of the 85, actually. Because I've got that neutral grey. It's very
It's true.
similar
Yeah, yeah.
color blocking and kind of does the same job. And I've always wanted the rude high top with the green, but it's always been too expensive. And this is kind of similar to that. So yeah, that's my only cop, and I think that's only my 6th or 7th cop of the year. So
Nice.
That's a
yeah,
lie.
nah. Do you know what?
You've said that before, unless,
I,
unless what you mean you still got, then
I went, I
that's
went,
different.
I went over it. I went over it, and I would genuinely say I'm about, but just between 6 and 8, man. I'm
That you've
behaving.
still got, yeah.
That I've still got, yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I'm
fair
behaving,
enough.
man. I'm behaving. You know, I'm trying to like hold it down over here and be the voice of reason, but no one listens to me, obviously.
I need to copy you ASAP. I saw a pair. I returned 4 pairs recently. That was,
They,
praise the Lord, was still like in date for sneakers.
yeah.
I was like, oh, thank fuck for that, man. I looked on StockX
Uh,
and it was like you're gonna lose like 20 quid on each one of them. I was like, please be in
no,
date.
no, yeah.
And it was just like I just totally forgot that I had it
Yeah,
to return
I
kind of
hate.
thing.
There's nothing worse when you don't return it in date and you're stuck with it. Like, oh,
Yeah,
like it's the worst, man. Because you don't want to lose money on it. Like, you
exactly.
don't. You're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs with it. Fucking
And I'm
painful,
stuck in the
man.
house. So I'm in lockdown, so I'm like, I can't even fucking go to the shop. So Kay had like the pram full of boxes, like no baby,
Bloody
to
hell.
Leaving
the
a bit
shop.
home.
Yeah, and got rid of them and got my money back, which was nice. Feels like I'm richer, like just getting back like
Yeah,
600
yeah.
quid or whatever
Yeah, it
out of
feels good,
nowhere.
man. It
It was
really
a good
does feel
feeling.
good
Need
when
to
you
spend it
sell
on
it.
something else.
When you sell a couple pairs that you've lost interest in and don't wear, and like it's quite a lot of money back. It does make
Yeah,
it feel better because this is an expensive hobby, and
proper. Well,
I
listen,
get.
Dee, we was talking about cameras the other day. All hobbies are fucking expensive, isn't it?
Oh yeah, boy.
I should
Like,
know as well. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
man,
Looking
you want to
at
get a new
cameras.
lens? Oof.
whether it's
Oh,
cameras, like even like I was thinking, like even like the music stuff I do on the side, all that equipment is so expensive. What
Just
even
getting the MacBook, bro.
Bro, yeah, and
mm.
even them little hobbies that other people do, like whether it's like painting, or like or those little figurines and things like that they do. Yeah, that shit's all
There's
expensive
mad
as well,
money in
man.
there, man. Yeah.
I know, man. Like everything is expensive, and like sneakers, I think is at the higher higher end of that as well.
The good
I,
thing is you can get your money back for the most part. That's
that's the
probably
best
the
thing.
bonus.
That's
Yeah,
the best thing. I think one thing I
even
would.
if you wear it.
Oh yeah, that's the best part. Like you can
Yeah.
make that mistake and not lose too much. Like
Mhm.
one thing I would always advise to newer people is that it is so easy to get lost in the hype and start wearing stuff that you shouldn't really be wearing.
Mhm.
Like you may want to wear it on that day, but the next day you're like, "Oh, I should not have worn that. I don't want to wear this. I don't reach for it."
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to accept the L and still sell that shoe because your life will be better for it, man. This is something I
Yeah,
think.
like the whole wear your kicks thing, I'm with it. You should definitely not just let your pair sit in the boxes forever,
Yeah.
but proper think about it because I've undiesed at least 10 pairs that I've worn
Yeah.
once, and it's
Yeah.
like I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah, because that
That's like
means
fucking
now.
5 grand probably I could have had
Yes,
if I hadn't done that.
Do you know what? Like a lot of the time when they're worn just once, right? Like the monetary loss can be not so bad. Like you might be down 30, 40 quid, right, on the shoe, but it's the time. It's the
Mm.
time. Like you can't just go list it on StockX or sell it to someone who wants it. You got to show them. They got to see and be convinced that it's as
Can I
worn
see
as
the
you.
sole? Can I see the?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly. It
know.
becomes like a process, right?
Yeah.
And like anyone that says, "Oh, you shouldn't resell," like you're just being an idiot. Like the way the game is now, if you're not being a smart buyer and seller with your shoes and like
You're
trying
doing
to,
it wrong
yeah, you're doing it wrong. You got to use what you have to get what you need.
because we're not millionaires.
We're not millionaires. Like, don't be treating this like you are a millionaire because it's so easy. And then all of a sudden, you got thousands of pounds worth of shoes, but nothing else, right? Like, it's so easy to fall into those habits where you start buying 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pairs, and then you're just like, it feels normal. It feels normal, isn't it? Like one thing I can say this year that I consciously made an effort at the start of this year to lower my sneaker consumption, right? And one thing that I've noticed, the biggest change I've noticed personally, is the way it feels now buying a shoe.
Mm.
Before I would drop resale, but it's fine. Buy another pair, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Now, because I'm barely buying kicks or like buying very specifically, each purchase feels like a hell of a lot of money to me, whether it's retail
Yeah.
or resale. And that's that psychological thing that you change. You're kind of shifting the habit, right? It's like yeah, it's so dangerous with any hobby or any passion to go overboard. Because you can enjoy sneakers and not have every single pair in the world, right? So
Yep, yep.
yeah, it's an interesting one, I think, to how you kind of weigh up the enjoyment of having a big collection versus how much is too much and all of that stuff. I don't know, like, yeah, I'm trying to be disciplined, but it is hard. There are a lot of times I want to go buy
Mm.
X, Y, and Z, and I'm holding myself back. Like, don't press fucking buy now on eBay. Like, fight the urge, innit? Like, that New Balance protection pack, for example, the grey one. That
Mm.
I've almost bought that 4 times. I'm just
It's
like,
happened to me as well.
yeah,
But I
I'm just.
can't do it because I had it. I could have bought it for retail and I didn't. So I'm not going to do it now.
Oh man, I hear that.
I ain't
I
going to
hear
do
that.
it.
But anyway, what
But I
what
should
what
have.
you Dan? Have you copped anything this week? Are you behaving as well?
No, I tried, but I can't.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
that's the
it's
thing.
true.
That I think that's the thing at the minute is that like yeah, I haven't bought much at all recently or nothing new anyway, and like
But it's actually hard to.
it's not without trying. It's just I can't.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, this week I wanted both the dunks. I wanted the FTC and I wanted the para, and yeah, fat
I
L on
totally
both.
forgot about those. I didn't mention that in the intro. Yeah, the Power ones. Yeah.
Yeah, the FTC was the one that I wanted the most.
That's the
Yeah,
white and
nothing.
blue and yellow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, with like the
yeah, yeah.
tiling sort of panel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. That was
They
cool.
were really nice. I fancied them, but yeah, they said no, nothing. I did grab the patter Vans. I said like I popped by the store and they had them on Friday, so I grabbed them, and that was completely um off the cuff kind of thing. So at the moment, I don't regret it, and I've been
Which
wearing them.
model was
So
that? That Vans pair?
it's an old school.
Oh, it's old school. Oh,
It's a
nice,
low
nice
one,
one.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Fire.
But no, they're decent, nice material, and like the patter collab with Vans are normally decent. They said they're really comfortable as well, so I'm quite happy with them. Yeah.
Dope pickup. Right, on to the next segment. In this part of the podcast, on to the next segment. This is the part of the podcast we like to call Take My Dough or Leave It Bro. This is a quick fire round. One of us names a bunch of sneakers. The HSU team will have to say whether it's Take My Dough or Leave It Bro. Simple game. This week it is Dan's turn. So, Batch, what you got for us?
Yeah. I went through, picked a couple things, and I think I said it to both of you actually. It was quite hard to pick things that weren't a dunk. Um, and
Always.
actually, surprisingly, there's 4 collaborations on here. So what was you saying about saturation? So yeah, so the first one is the New Balance by Levi's 992. Um, yeah, what are we saying? What start with Dean?
Yeah. Do you know what? So this is gonna be a controversial opinion, right? I'm not like I like the 992 a lot. I like it a lot. I think it's probably in their top 2 or 3 silhouettes, right? But at the same time, it is a very big, wide shoe, and
Mm,
for that reason alone, I have to be in love with the colorway. This is really nice. I think this is a really clean, nice colorway. I don't like the midsole, the insole, the orange in there. I don't really, yeah, I don't like that at all. But I really like the color palette. It looks like New Balance and materials are going to be amazing. But
Mm-hmm.
because of the silhouette, like it has to be something like, for example, what was the other collab on them last year that was huge?
Jammed.
Yeah, Jound. Like those were beautiful, and like the color palettes are just gorgeous. So I wanted those badly, but this one, for the price and how difficult it will be to cop, most likely it's a
mm,
leave it for me. But I do think it is a really nice pair, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they look on people's feet. Really, it's going to be
mm.
it's you can't go wrong with that sort of palette, can you?
No, definitely. Ash, what are you saying?
Yeah, for me, it's a take my dough, but it's a if I don't cop it, I doubt I'll be paying crazy high resale for it. As you know, I've got loads of 992s, got a few that are in this similar-ish sort of colorway already. So it's not like one that I super duper need because it is a collaboration. It makes it a little bit more exciting. It's got
Mm,
some little like denim hits on it and all that sort of stuff. I think the color blocking is pretty cool, but it's not one that I'm up for paying like high resale on. So retail cop or a little bit over, I'll take it. But otherwise, I'll probably let it pass.
yeah, I quite like it. They look similar. I mean, I don't know too much about some of the New Balance. Like I'm still I've still not jumped onto the hype, which I'm kind of pleased about because
Mate, retail's high, don't do it.
it's you know what, the one
Especially
model
for
that I know
these.
that the one model I really like is the 1500, and it's like I don't need to be buying another 150 pound shoe.
Yeah.
Like, they do cheaper models, but these are really nice. They look similar to something that come out recently. If I'm wrong, I'm not sure. They look like something that come out recently anyway to me. Um, but yeah, for me, I'll probably leave it. But they are really nice. The Levi's collaborations are normally pretty decent. There's some clothing that goes along with it as well. It's not really
Yeah.
my kind of thing, but yeah, no, the shoe's decent. But I said probably leave it for me.
Yeah, just about. Just about.
What's the next one? Next one we got is the Aura Lee by New Balance 550. Ash, you want to start with that one?
Yeah, this is a take my dough for sure. I actually copped some 550s recently, the burgundies, which I think I'll be returning. I
Mm,
just put them on and they just didn't hit the way that I thought they would. I think if it was like those ALDs that came out,
Mm.
the sort of red pair, I probably would have kept it. But those ones, they just didn't hit the way
I
they wanted them to be honest. But the Auralees, there's nothing not to like about this shoe. So take my dough for
mm,
sure.
Yeah, easy, easy. Do you know what, Ash? I'm with you. I love burgundy. It's one of my favorite colors. I'm not liking that pair when I see it on people's
Yeah.
feet.
When I tried it on,
It,
I was like, I say, this don't look
there's
good.
there's something weird. Like it's the vibrance of the burgundy. I think for
Mm,
for me it's too like reminds me of like velvety. It's too like
mm,
velvety looking. Just makes it come a little bit weird. But yeah, the Aureli pair is yeah, very clean. Can't go wrong with that sort of colorway. I definitely want to get involved for that one. If I don't get it though, it's not a pair I'll pay resale for. But
yeah, same.
still a take my dough.
mm. Yeah, I think I'm with you actually on this. The
Yeah,
550s, they're definitely a pair that I have kept an eye on. And then, in
yeah,
fact, actually, last time I was on, you mentioned Dino. There was like a purple pair, and that
yeah.
did that come out
Mm.
alongside that burgundy pair and the yellow pair and a black pair, or was that a different
A
pack? I
lot of
can't
came out
remember. But
recently. I'm not
like,
sure which one came out
It's
with which, but
hard to keep up. Yeah,
all of those ones have come out. Yeah, a
because I
couple times.
know that I've had trouble trying to find the purple pair. I've only seen like one person with it, and it was just like
yeah,
a random drop on New Balance. But some people have been saying the quality on them is like a lot lower.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
obviously it's a GR,
yeah,
which is a shame really. But no, this pair is really nice. I think I'd probably jump on board with this. Yeah, I think
yeah.
let's take my dough because it is a really clean, simple colorway, and it
Can't go
looks
wrong.
nicely finished as well. Like
Yeah,
hopefully
man.
the
Yeah,
leather's
really
decent. It
does.
just it looks
Got the
solid.
perforations all over it as well, which is new for
Yeah.
that model. Yeah, it's cool.
Really, really nice. The next one is the Jordan 1 Seafoam. This is the women's exclusive. I'll start on this one. This is a weird one because I
Yeah,
can't quite figure it out. Like sometimes I look at it and sometimes it's nice, and then sometimes I look at it and I hate the color.
Might be the good as
Um,
laces, man.
and yeah,
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of the
Fuck.
laces. I think, to be honest, for me, the way I felt recently is it's a probably a leave it. Um, I just feel like going back to that oversaturated, being oversaturated, they've just kind of put the Jordan 1 in the ground. Like I
Mm.
still love it, I still wear it, and I still will buy pairs, of course. But I don't know. Like I find it hard to get excited about them now. And the thing is, this colorway, I should quite like it because I do quite like this shade of green. But it's one of those that I think I need to see it in hand. Like even now, looking at the pictures, there's two images where the green is two different shades, which
On the
is
same shoe.
impossible in the same shoe. Yeah,
Oh,
so like it's hard to see. I think it's a leave it for me. I said like a bit of oversaturation, and I'm just not 100% sure. The laces definitely are not doing it for me either. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it. Ding, what you saying?
yeah. I'm with you boys on this one. The main color's okay. It's not the bad. I've seen much worse Jordans recently, but at the same time, those laces, I don't get it. They're just weird. They really clash against it all. It's just not a very exciting pair, is it? Let's be
no.
honest. It's
Uh,
just another boring Jordan, and it's like they've just dropped so many bad Jordan ones over the past 2-3 years that I, there are way more bad Jordan ones than good Jordan ones now,
It's
and
not even close, yeah.
mm,
that's really sad. I think so.
Because
This
the
is
shoe
a
you shouldn't be able to mess up.
No,
It's
and
very
No,
simple.
it's a special like historic shoe, and they've kind of turned it into like it feels like it's almost like they've turned it into like an Air Force One with the way like they like for example the Air
so
Force
frequent.
yeah just so constant and like
Mm,
that ruined the kind of like the Air Force One is not going anywhere. It's special, but it doesn't feel as special because of how many uh fucking different versions of it they've released. And the Jordan 1 is starting to get like that as well. Like you add in this new tongue, then you got the Zoom comfort pairs, and then you've got
Oh
like
boy, the
yeah,
cutout swoosh.
yeah, and there's just
Get out of my fucking
a
face.
lot of garbage going on. So for me, it's a leave it, bro. And like, it's very rare that a Jordan 1, even the ones that look nicer, like the that like perhaps that the recent blue suede one that was covered in glue. Um,
It's
yeah, yeah.
that's a nicer Jordan 1, but even then,
not great.
it's not amazing, is it? Like. I mean, like we're not getting those pairs like we had, like where turbo green, which is really different and
Mm,
off the cuff and a great release. And he had the rookies, which is a brilliant
Yeah.
pair. We're not getting that sort of
Even
quality.
the proper game royals from before with the blue and the
Exactly,
black swoosh.
exactly.
Yeah.
We're not getting those sort of like even like the pine green 1.0 and then
Mm,
the court
yeah.
purple 1.0. We're not
yeah.
getting those sort of really dope releases that are more sporadic. We're just getting constantly mediocre or rubbish Jordan ones, and yeah, it's
And
just
they're
make
worth bucks as well. They're shit.
they're worth
And they're all
bucks.
worth 300.
Because they know
That's what's
then the
crazy.
audience is new and they just
Yeah.
want
Anything.
Jordans. Yeah,
Mm.
they just want Jordan ones. So leave it for
Thing
me,
is,
and sick of seeing it.
yeah, I think the thing is as well, like you touched on the Air Force One, and I'm not really an Air Force One fan, but when they do drop, there always seems to be like a story behind it, which is cool, and even if sometimes it is a bit of a
Yeah,
reach, but I feel like with the Jordan 1, it's like you've kind of told most of the stories that you can tell with it.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Like I remember even thinking that the rookie was a bit of a reach. What
Oh,
what
it
what
was a
was it? It was
reach. Yeah.
based
It
on
was a
like
big reach.
the
His
His
was
shirt
it
he was
shirt,
based on
wearing.
his suit, his shirt,
his
yeah,
shirt.
from the
Yeah,
from the ceremony. It's like, okay, cool. Like I'm buying it because it's a nice shoe. Like don't worry about the story
yeah,
in this
yeah.
case. But there's not really been like what can you tell me about this? Like just
Nothing.
whatever. Yeah, it's weird. That's what you're
Yeah,
saying.
Yeah, definitely leave it for me. The lace. I've seen a picture with different laces, and they look better. But
Mm.
still, the green is just okay for me. It's not better than any pair that I have, so I'm not spending another 140 on these. No, I'm cool.
I feel like this was I saw it for years, and I don't even. I'm pretty sure it wasn't any like a proper custom. Someone done like a matcha pair. It always comes up every now and
Mm,
then, and they had it like on a little table and stuff. And I feel like this is sort of their answer to that, but it's a really poor answer to it because
they
that
could have
one looked
told that
really good.
story and just made up some shit, and it would have
There
been
you
better.
go.
But still,
That's what we're
the
calling the matcha
laces.
greens.
What on earth could the laces be about?
I don't know.
Just the edges of it is orange. For what? For what reason? Don't get it.
Yeah, I can't look at it anymore. I don't know.
On to the
I
next one. On to
genuinely
the next
don't
one.
know. Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. The next one is A6, and I think this might have actually already dropped by the time this goes live. But it's the A6 by Nice Kicks. On this site they call them Nice Cream, but I think I've also seen them called milkshakes as well. So yeah, there's a couple of names for them. Ash, what are you saying? I know you collect your A6. What are you thinking about this?
Yeah, it's not a pair that I went for, but I think they look really dope. I think the color blocking is really cool. The laces somehow work. Like
Mm.
you would never would think it would work, with a little subtle hint of like the mint at the back of the sole of the shoe makes it all come together. I think it's a dope pair. Just even though I'm not really been selective because I've bought shitloads this year, but it's not one that I feel like I need, so I didn't cop it. But who knows, I might do eventually.
Mm. Dean, what are you saying?
yeah. You know what? I think it's a really nice colorway. Not my silhouette, or a shoe I'd go for personally. But I can see. I think they've done a good job on it. I think it communicates the collaboration really well. It looks good aesthetically, and nothing about it kind of like screams. There's no red flags there where you think, oh, that
Mm.
that kind of ruins the shoe. It's a really solid collab, and yeah, I think it's a good effort. But for me personally, it's a leave it just because I'm not big on this sort of the silhouette in
Yeah.
particular. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. When I saw it, I was really into it. I quite like it, but I'm always very reluctant to buy a model that I've never had, if that makes sense, especially when it's like a
Yeah.
collaboration pair as well. Like, I kind of feel not that I'm taking away from someone else being able to have it, but like, I don't know, I kind of feel like if you're going to grab someone, then maybe you need to start off with a GR to make sure that it is a model that fits and
Yeah.
comfort wise and all that stuff. So like, I'd leave it for that case, but I really do like it. I like the color blocking. I think it's really nice, and the collab's kind of cool. Yeah, pretty cool. Not too offensive. Yeah, decent shoe. And then finally is the Bad Bunny Adidas Forum. They're the triple black pair. I think this is due sometime later in the month. Dean, what are you saying?
Yeah, it's a leave it for me just because it's, I've seen it now, I've seen the shoe, and
Mm,
this is just a black version. I think his fans will love it, and fair enough, let them get it. And yeah, this collab's done quite well for Adidas and him, so
Mm.
it's good to see. Nice to see that people have enjoyed it and you know, felt the need to like purchase it, and it's got like a bit of value because you always want to see a healthy kind of market for other brands, and it's nice to see
Definitely.
that
Yeah.
something outside of Yeezy has a bit of value to the consumer. So that's good to see.
mm,
But this black one, just
yeah,
kind of a bit dull and not really getting it. I don't think it kind of communicates the way the other colorways have. So for me, it's a leave it. But yeah, good luck to those that want these.
yeah. I think I feel the same. I think like it's just, yeah, it's boring. I've seen the pink pair. I think the pink pair are really nice. But yeah, this
Yeah,
this black pair is quite dull, and it almost begs a question now. Like, I remember like back in the day when like a triple white pair or a triple black pair would drop, and everyone was like, ah, it's a triple black colorway. Like, I need to have that, or triple
Mm.
white, whatever. Like, does the I don't know, does triple black still hold that kind of clout? And same with triple white, and it like, I feel like those colors drop, and then people just don't care anymore. Like, they don't
yeah,
seem to hold the same sort of clout as they once did. But
I'd
yeah, this
agree.
shoe for me is a pass. It's yeah, I'll leave it. It's not for me at all.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too boring, and that shoe just—it's like a skater shoe vibe to me. It's just
Mm.
super bulky, and I'm not into it. I don't think it looks shit or anything. Looks okay, but definitely not something that I would go out my way to purchase. Still shocked at how crazy the resale is. I always forget these Latin artists fucking popping like mad,
Yeah.
but yeah, not for me. Easy leave it, bro.
Sweet. I think that was the last one.
Cool. That was a dope
Yes.
five. Nice mix of brands, and as usual, so many collaborations because that's all that comes out these days, isn't it? Let's be honest.
I tried. I
Literally.
tried. Honestly.
Nah,
It's the
that's
way of the
that's
world,
it.
man.
That's the way it is now, man. Yeah.
So, right, guys, that takes us to the end of the podcast. We're about ready to close out episode 24 of Half Size Up. As always, we've been chopping up with it's always been good chopping up with the boys. In the meantime, do you have any shout outs or honorable mentions, Dean?
Just shout out to firstly Dan for coming on and filling in as always, man. It's great to have you here. And shout out to everyone listening, continuing to send in those questions and just being, passionate about listening and showing us that love. It really does keep us motivated and keep us putting this content out there. But yeah, and shout out again. I think shout out to the Offspring guys as well. They've had a big week, and I think you know
They try their best, man. Can't knock
putting
them.
yourself into a position to judge thousands of entries like that is a hard job to do.
Mm,
So yeah,
Pressure.
shout out to them for trying to do that the best they can. It's not often we get brands give us a face and give us a point of contact the way they do. It's very rare. So something we have to appreciate while still being constructive at the same time. So shout out to those guys.
mm.
What about you, Dan?
You know what? No, shout out to you guys. Obviously, thank you for having me back again. Because
Pleasure.
yeah, it's like, it's mad. Like, when you think you've done the first one, it's like, oh, cool. But also, like, big shout out to the people that whenever I have been on, they drop me a DM afterwards. People like Mike and Kicks, they always say like, I listened, and yeah, you said this, and that was nice, and yeah, so yeah, big shout out to them people.
Love that. Yeah, shout out to Mo for setting us up on how this all works. Hopefully, this recording and comes out good. Missed you, bro. Hopefully, you'll be back next week. Shout out for Batch for helping us out. Always the fill-in guy, and great to have you as an honourable member of the team. Shout out to the wifey as usual as well. And also shout out to local and global audience that's been tuning in week out. Big shout out to you guys. Also, Half Size Up was brought up to you by the Pink Miracles shoe cleaner, the original shoe cleaner since 1985. Use our code Half Size Up 15% off your purchases online. And don't forget, we are a weekly podcast, and you can follow us at Instagram at Half Size Up Pod, and you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also on YouTube. We want to say a big thanks to the entire Half Size Up team. I've been Ash Bash with my co-host Dean Steele.
Have a great week, everyone.
And Dan Batch.
Take it easy.
And we will see you next week, people. We are out.